Good morning. Let things get caught up here and go ahead and get my important stuff out of the way, like in case I don't get comments. Let's bring it up on the phone. Good morning, everyone. Hi, I am Stacy. This is Loving My Veteran, and we are walking in my shoes this morning. Oh, look, it works. What a concept. Okay, now, good to go. In case this doesn't work the way it's supposed to. Put it over here. All right, let me get a couple sips of coffee in, and we will get started this morning. Coffee time. Speaking of coffee, we need to today, Behind the Service podcast, 10 o'clock, it's an hour from now, has coffee, conversation, and collaboration. You can see it on our group page. I will share it back up to the top so that we have it, so that y'all can see it. And I've got like three things going on at the same time. Sorry, y'all. Good morning, Stephanie. So we can visit with them and have a little coffee and just feel better. So today's topic, let me see what else we've got going on before I get myself done. Sue's watching live. Yay, Sue. Thank you. Newsletter went out last night. Everything is a work in progress for us. We have our new website is up. We have a new newsletter that went out yesterday. So we are well on track. Don't forget that tonight at about 6:30, Stephanie will do Wellness Wednesdays. It is always so motivational, so uplifting, and I love it. Don't want to miss it. There are some days, I have to be honest, I have to watch it in the rebroadcast. Thank you, Pam, for sharing coffee with me. I love it, love it. We have coffee every morning. So today, I got in this thing. Nice, she's having her Loving Her Veteran tumbler. Stacy's having her coffee in that. There's so often we feel like we're drowning. We just feel like we're drowning. And I find that we feel like we're drowning in PTSD, that we make it about this issue. And also often we just feel like we're drowning. And I did a blog, it's actually on our website, about drowning in PTSD, and that you feel overwhelmed and that you need this life raft. And I get that and I understand that. But I also think that when the going gets tough and we have a lot of things on our plate, that we want to analyze every situation, and we should kind of know where it is. But if you get bogged down in that, in the words of my mother, you're jumping into the river of what ifs. You're jumping into the river of what ifs. Why are you going to jump into this overwhelming river of what ifs if you can walk across it? There's a bridge there, even if it's a rope bridge with a wooden plank, and you walk across it one step at a time. That's what this is. This is a journey. You're not going to get from this side to the other and just think, oh, it's just going to happen like this. And you don't have to jump into this river of what ifs. What if I try this and it doesn't work? What if he still explodes? What if PTSD is going to take over? What if the medication doesn't work? What if the therapy doesn't work? What if I have this? What if I can't get everything done? What if all of that comes into our life, if all of that is overwhelming to us, we are jumping into that river of what ifs. Take it one step at a time. Cross the bridge one step at a time. Don't drown in the river of what ifs. Girl, me too, Stephanie. I have to analyze everything. And can I tell you, when it comes time to really look at something, we Google everything. Google is the answer to everything. We get this Googling answer to everything. Sarah says, what if you took one step at a time, you might make it? That's right. If you take one step at a time, you will make it. You'll still cross that bridge. But if you just jump in the river and think you're going to swim across it and be there instantly, and the currents are there, you're going to drown. So don't drown. But we Google everything. That is like our... So if you've got this going on. You can pull it up and you're going to Google it. And Google's going to give you 95 answers for something. Some may be right, some may not be right. They're going to give you all these answers. And now you take and you compound whatever the problem is because you're trying to read into it. We do that with our veterans. Good morning, Damon. We do that with our veterans. We do it so often. We sit here and we say, oh, this is going on. Well, let me see why. Morning, Sonny. Let me see why. Well, you know what we do? We Google. My veteran has PTSD. What are the signs and symptoms? Okay, I can take those signs and symptoms, and I'm sure that I can take the PTSD signs and symptoms and pass them out to every one of us, and every one of us will fall into one of those categories. Every one of us will fall into one of those categories because they're so vague. I'm not discounting their PTSD, but if you start to play this game, well, we're not communicating. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a sign and symptom of PTSD. That's what we have. That's my what if. What if we never communicate again? We're just going to dump that into the river of what ifs. Same thing when you get on medications. Oh, this is a side effect of the medication. Oh, well, I have headaches. Well, the headaches may not be the disease. Now it may be the side effect of the medication because we're sitting here and we're looking at it. We Google it. Google Encyclopedia Doctor. I used to laugh about going to school, and this is really going to tell y'all how old I am. We had encyclopedias on the shelf. When we had to do a book report or a report on something, we went to the library. Even in college, I went to the library. I know that is a strange thing for you. Okay? Think that was a strange thing, but I went to the library and you had to open the book. So by the time you got to the library, at that point, you were deciding that you wanted to look something up and that you had to know right then was a little more effort because you had to go there. And so things didn't seem so important. Now we have instant answers, and if you don't like that answer, change the search engine. You'll find a new one. I promise that's how it works. So don't jump into this river of what ifs. What if things don't get better? What if stuff doesn't change? What if, oh, now we're taking this drug. Well, this is a side effect. This is why why things are going the way they are, because it's this drug and it's this side effect. Let me dump this in. Things are never going to get better because the doctor says we need to be on this because this is what the treatment is and this is going to help him. Well, that's when I tell you get the Google out, but don't get the Google out. Go to the FDA website because that's like the official answer and look at the medication and look at the side effects. That's way different. But when we jump into this river of what ifs, when we do this and we jump into it, what happens? I Google everything. I'm with you. I used to Google everything. I know. I am so excited, Stephanie, and then we're going to Shepherd. Stephanie, will you please get with us and keep us updated? Like, I want to know what it's like when you arrive, and we want to know what it's like when you get there because I'm so excited for you. I am so excited for you going to Shepherd's. But don't jump in the what ifs, y'all. Let's take our time. Let's walk that bridge one step at a time. One step at a time. That's what we do. When you dive into the river of what ifs, you can't see, you can't breathe. You're too busy fighting the what ifs. And I'm not just talking about PTSD, I'm talking about everything. Everything. My life. Well, what if I have to have this done? Or what if I have to have that done? Or what if this test result means that? Or what if this test result does this? And what if this happens? And what if that happens? And you get overwhelmed and you think about everything at one time and it just comes pouring in. And the next thing you know, you're drowning. You're drowning. You can't get your head out of the current. You can't pull yourself up out of the current because you're in this river of what ifs. Think about it from our veterans' perspective. What if EMDR doesn't work? What if this drug doesn't work? What if this therapy doesn't work? What if this doesn't work? Am I gonna feel this way forever? Stop. Take a step back. Because let me go over this one more time, because we've said this a lot. So let me go over this one more time. PTSD, TBIs, they don't just miraculously go away, but there's a way to manage them. Okay, so let me get that straight. But they also don't have to control everything. Everything that goes on in your life isn't about it. Everything that we deal with isn't about this. Stop taking everything. It's like emptying the trash and rolling it into this river of PTSD. So, we're already drowning in all this stuff that's going on. Our veterans already feel at times like they're drowning in all this stuff that's going on. And what do? We're going out and we're flushing the toilet. Right? We're like flushing the toilet into this river. Stop. One step at a time. Every journey is one step at a time. We all tend to do it. We tend to jump into the river of what ifs. I'm not saying you shouldn't be aware of the dangers along the way. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a plan for the dangers along the way. Because you should. And some of the most beautiful experiences in the world, they come from rafting down a river, right? They're places you can't get to on another road. Sorry. There are places you can't get to on another road. Sometimes you have to get in that raft. And you just have to go down the river and enjoy the ride. And sometimes there's a lot of beauty on that ride. We were blessed when we were kids. We went to Yellowstone with some family up in the Tetons. We were actually outside of Jackson Hole. And y'all know the story of my grandfather. I tell the story to everybody. And he had one leg forever. We decided as a family, we went on this family vacation. I don't know what drugs my parents were on when they thought that all three of my living grandparents, my mom and dad, my brother and me, and 2 dogs could be in a 28-foot motorhome for 3 weeks driving across the country. That was, I'm not sure where that came from, but it was the best trip I've ever taken. But we went right outside of Jackson Hole, and we went down the Snake River. And we put my grandfather with a life jacket on and one leg in this raft. And we went rafting down the Snake River. The things that we saw were amazing. The sights that we got to see along the way were amazing. Was there the fear that my grandfather on one leg could fall out in the middle of the white water? Yeah, you still have to be worried about that. I can remember the guide telling us when we got there, pulled over to eat lunch, and he said, be careful. Make sure that you keep your food close to you, and if I say go, you need to get slowly to the raft, because there's always the risk of a bear. And I'm thinking, yeah. So if somebody would have given me this list, your poppy can fall into the water, your raft can slam into the rocks, the bear may eat your food, all of this stuff, would we ever have gotten in the raft on the river? Probably not. But you can't jump into the river of what ifs. We were in the raft. We weren't in the river. We were in the raft. And we enjoyed so much of that. We enjoyed the journey. And we forget to enjoy the journey along the way, because we're so busy jumping into this river of what ifs. I'm with you, Stephanie. I don't like nothing like nibbling on my tootsies, okay? Because my luck, I'm going to get in the river and it's going to be the piranha. I've watched too many movies. But y'all, we're so worried about the what ifs. What if this treatment doesn't work today? What if I can't do this? What if this is going to be the rest of my life? What if we're always going to fight? What if we're not going to get past this? What if I'm not going to get to the end of this? What if you can create your own what ifs? What challenges you? What are things that you're afraid of? What are things you don't want to deal with? You know, I laugh because it's like, oh, we're opening up the world, right, to be able to go without a mask, and I'm good with that. I think that's wonderful. Let's open up, go back to the world. The only things that are still closed are the federal government and the state government. Okay, so if you need your Social Security situation straightened out, you can't go to the Social Security Administration because due to COVID, they are closed. Well, what makes them more special than the rest of us? I can sit here all day and say, what if this doesn't happen? What if this check doesn't come? What if this doesn't happen? What if I can't get the DD-214? What if I can't do this? What have I done? I'm drowning in a hole, right? I'm drowning in a hole. What I'm not seeing is the times that we sat on the couch last night and he said, we got this. What if I didn't stop to look at that? That's what happens when you drown in a river of what ifs. Gary, I done called so much, they afraid of my number. I think it's on the caller ID when I call them. But what happens when we drown so far and we jump in that river of what ifs? What if? What if the insurance doesn't pay? What if I have to do this? What if I have to go to here? What if? There's so many what ifs. We can all take your bad what ifs and throw them in the river, okay? What if? I'm not saying you don't need to think about it and be prepared, but don't let it obsess you. Stop jumping into the river. Yes, you need to get from this side of the river to the other side of the river, and that's part of the journey. But there are steps there. You know, some days that bridge is solid and you can just walk across it 2, 3, 4, 5 steps at a time. The other time that bridge is one of them things like was in trying to think of the Harrison Ford movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, you know, where they got this rope bridge and like the stuff is, the boards are falling and you're way above the canyon and you're looking down and you're like, holy shit. And some days you're watching that journey and you're taking the step across that journey, and that's the bridge you're on. And that's the bridge you're on. And it's okay. But you're way better off to take the one step at a time than to jump in the river of what ifs. Yeah, Colleen, I know you have fears. It's okay, one step at a time. And besides that, Colleen, don't get your two fears too far up. I'm only like 45 minutes from there. I'll find out what you need, honey. I'm a backup plan on you for that one. But what if? What if this doesn't work? What if that doesn't work? What if I can't pay the bills? What if we're going to be destined to be in this marriage like this forever? What if things get bad? What if the world changes? I asked Carl last night, I said, can we please have one day that you are not consumed with the what ifs in this world and in this scenario? And he said, give me 7 days. It's okay. 5 to 7. He wanted to get through Memorial Day. Because we do that. We look at the bad in every scenario, and I don't do it as much as he does. I think that's the warfighter veteran in them, that they always look at the negatives, right? They look at every bad possibility, because if they know the worst possible outcome, they can prepare for it. But when you're so busy analyzing the outcomes, you forget to enjoy the journey along the way. You forget that. When you're so busy analyzing the possible problems, you don't notice the good along the way. The possible problems consume you. They did for me a few weeks ago, y'all. I was in the darkest hole ever. Not quite as bad as I was at one point, but I was in this black hole. I got consumed with every bit of what ifs. Stephanie, I love you. You and Mike are so backwards. I do prepare for everything though. Like girl, like I have everything. Like, this is what I need to do if this happens, and this is what I need to do if that happens, and this is what I need to do if the other happens. And I get very consumed with it. And when you get so consumed with it, you're caught in that drowning cycle of what ifs, and you can't move forward. You can't move forward. You know, for those of you who don't live on a coast, so you don't understand, but coming up the East Seaboard, we have riptides, and they talk about it all the time. We have rip currents, and they happen. And what that is you know, like it goes in, and the water goes in and out, and you know, a normal thing. But what happens in a rip current is part of it is coming this way, and the other part underneath goes the other way, and you get sucked in and pulled down. When you fight that rip tide or that rip current, you will drown. People drown fighting the rip current. So when you go to the beach and they have the red flag warnings, it means don't climb your happy tail into the ocean, because you got water coming one way and a tide underneath going the other, and it sucks you under. The thing they tell you, or they do tell you, people don't listen to, is that a rip current is only 2 to 6 feet across. So if you lay flat and swim parallel to the beach one way or the other, you're going to get out of it. But we get so busy fighting in that rip current. We get so busy fighting in that rip current that we don't swim parallel to the beach to get out. And that's what happens when we drown in our river of what ifs. When we take every worst case scenario and we throw it in and we jump in head first. I was pulled under by one too, Sarah. And we jump in head first, and we just wallow in it, and we get exhausted and we drown. Stop. There's a bridge there. Walk across it. Walk across it. I was a lifeguard on the ocean. I was pulled out of a riptide too. So my dad pulled me and my girl and my friend out when we were little, and then I became a lifeguard in the ocean and tried to get people, to calm down enough to learn to swim parallel to the beach is a big deal. Trying to get people who are drowning in a pool, and no current, no nothing, they're drowning in a pool. They get exhausted, and they don't necessarily drown from they can't swim, because you have buoyancy and you kick your hands and your feet and you will come to the top, but they get exhausted and they go under and they're done. And it comes from fighting the thing. Just stop. It's what happens when you jump into the river of what ifs. That's what happens. That's what happens. You have to take the steps and take the journey. You know, we all see things. I look at our veterans specifically in this aspect. I want to look at our veterans specifically in this aspect, and how they feel, and then think about how you feel. Okay. But here's the thing. So your veteran sees this diagnosis, whatever it may be, Okay, they have PTSD, they have a TBI. Well, now they want to give them a certain medication. So now we have anxiety disorder, we have depression, we have bipolar, we have schizophrenia. It's just one of the things they just keep adding to the list. How are they going to feel better? They're drowning in it. They're drowning in their diagnoses. They're drowning in it. If you were told, just think about this. If you were told, I have PTSD. You have PTSD. You probably have a TBI. Oh, but let me explain the TBI a little bit to you. Your entire frontal lobe doesn't work, and you're going to do this. Oh, and rather than me just say that you have a TBI and we need to work through it and get the right treatment, some of your behavior is acting like a schizophrenic or a bipolar. Like, yeah, bipolar. So let me write this down. Schizophrenia, bipolar. Are you sad about this? Oh, I don't know. My brain has been rattled inside my head. Am I sad about it? Nope. I am perfectly happy that I feel like I have scrambled eggs inside my head. Oh, so now you're depressed? Oh, let me write depression down. Okay, so now you're reading your medical chart. And your medical chart is like this. What's right with me? Oh, and can I say one more thing? That PTSD and TBI also cause, most of the time, increased blood pressure. So now you've got blood pressure that's up on top of all the other nonsense. And I'm not saying it's nonsense, but these are your diagnoses. So you just look at them and you're like, what the hell? I can't manage any of this, so why bother? Why bother? Then we look at them. The spouses now are looking at them. And we're like, holy crap, I'm married to a nutcase. Okay, that becomes, when you see it in writing, you feel like you're married to a nutcase because you see all this going on. You're not, though. At the end of the day, you're still the veteran you were, and you're still that person, and you're still their spouse. It doesn't define you in that what if. So you get this, and it all brings in more and more and more. Is there anything about PTSD causing loss of interest? Yes, it does. Okay. So there's so much that we look at in living in that river of what ifs. In living in that river of what ifs. And drowning through it. Hey, Stephanie, that was Emory, not Shepherd's, right? That the PTSD one, not the TBI one, correct? I'm just asking her a question on that. Sorry. And I'll message you later, Stephanie, because I want to know that story behind that. But don't jump into that river of what ifs. Don't jump into that. Let's make it manageable. Let's cross that bridge one thing at a time. Let's work ourselves through this. You're not drowning. Nobody's drowning. We're all sitting right here right now. We're all sitting here right now, and we may feel like we're drowning, but we're not. Our heads are all above water. So let's get out of the river of what ifs, get onto the bridge, and start taking that step. And if you can't get out of the water yourself, reach out to one of us. We'll give you a hand and we'll pull you out and get you on the bridge. That's what we do. Don't jump into that river of what ifs. We don't ever know what tomorrow's going to bring. We don't know what the next 15 minutes is going to bring. The one thing I learned for sure in EMS is that your life can change just like that. Your life can change just like that. And that is something we all have to understand. But if you're drowning in that river of what ifs, if you're drowning in that river of what ifs, you're never going to get to experience the other stuff. Stop drowning. Let one of us, like Stephanie says, be your life preserver. We'll pull you out. We may even walk that journey and hold your hand, or stand a step ahead of you, or a step behind you, or right next to you and say, "You got this." Okay, when it's that rope bridge way over the top, I'm going to be crawling because I'm terrified of heights. So you people are going to have to come back and get me. Okay, I'm just telling you, but that's what happens. Don't drown in that river of what ifs. Don't jump off into that river of what ifs. Don't do it. Let's walk that bridge and walk the bridge together. Stephanie, we love you too. I really do. Just message me. I really want to talk to you. I'm so excited, so excited. Y'all, a victory again across the board. Stephanie, veteran, is going to Shepherd's. And I'm so excited. And that is such a victory. And I'm so proud. I am so proud that he's going and says he wants to go. So I'm really, really excited for that. And we want to, that'd be like our reporter from the inside, keeping us up to date. And of course, your family's there too, so it won't be so bad. And you know, the rest of our family is up there, Stephanie. Other Stephanie lives there. I'm not that far away, so we might have to have a little picnic. You got this. Little more than 2 weeks. You got this. You've been through it this long. Stephanie, you have this. We're not jumping into that river of what ifs. We're going to make it there. We're going to cross that bridge. We have a little bit of time between here and there. We'll help you cross that bridge together. We will help you cross that bridge. If you need me between now and then, call me. Reach out to me. We will walk you through this journey. Bring bagels. She's not that... Look, Carl says nobody can come anywhere near Georgia if they don't bring bagels. But we will walk you through this step. Yeah, 17 minutes, 30 minutes from Shepherd's. I want to go. I know that Pam's not far from up there. I want to go see it. And AJ said that we could all take a tour, so it makes me happy. But I really want to see it from the inside. And again, y'all, this is what we do. This is what we do. I'm going to get off of here because this is what makes Loving My Veteran what we do. This is what Stephanie says. She'll bring bagels. I love you. Well, Carl's there for the day. I don't know if that was a good thing or not because now you're going to have to deal with Carl being there. But this is what we do. If we come together and we empower each other and we lift each other up, and you guys have done it to me more times than I can tell you. More times than I can tell you.
Trust me, she needs it. She doesn't have PTSD. She has CARL.
That's funny. If y'all didn't hear him, that was great. So we're here to empower each other. But when we find one resource that can help one veteran and one veteran's family, that's what it's all about. So again, Stephanie, I'm so excited. You are our victory. This is a victory that we can all celebrate in. And we're going to be here through this journey with you, and we want to know how it goes, but this is what it's about. This is what we do. This is what Loving My Veteran is about. They all say they love you, Carl. They don't live with you, but they love you.
So they didn't hear that comment I made?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they heard it. They're like, ha, ha, ha.
It's true.
We love you, Carl. Yeah. I'm going to take Carl on the world tour. If y'all want to be empowering to me, I'm just going to put Carl on a bus and he can go visit y'all from person to person. We get tired, just move him to the next place. I wouldn't trade him for anything. I love him more than anything.
No, doing the laundry or something.
Yeah, he does do your laundry. Just saying. He does do your laundry. That's what we do here. That is what Loving My Veteran is. We are empowering. We lift each other up. We love each other. You guys have been that for me in more ways than I will ever tell you. This is what it's about. This is what it's about. Stephanie, tonight, 6:30, Wellness Wednesdays with Stephanie. She is so amazing. No, he does not do, he can do them, but he doesn't do them. He puts them away and I do the dishes. Just saying. I like this. We're going to be the Hot Mess Express. Let's do that for the next 2 weeks. We'll get you through it. This is what we do. So I just want y'all to know that I'm getting off of here because I've got to go refresh my coffee so I can have coffee conversation and collaboration with our dear friends Aaron and Libby at Behind the Service Podcast. That is at 10 Eastern Time. We have a great time as usual. Stephanie's Wellness Wednesday. Tomorrow night we have Let's Talk. Like I said, new website is up. It looks much better. The resources will be going again. We're not we will put them out there. We are not in a big hurry to start putting resources up because we vet all of our resources first before they go on. So we want to make sure that they fit in there. I think that's all we have going on right now. We have a lot. We will be starting sometime in June a veteran to veteran only support group like we do our Thursday Let's Talk. That's everybody, but we are going to do veteran to veteran only. Will be coming sometime in June so they can talk to each other. I have a thing I'm getting ready to put out on the page. I might as well just go ahead and throw it out here. I'm doing a Memorial Day thing, so if you're a veteran or someone you know has lost somebody, we will be honoring them on Memorial Day in a video. So if you just want to send me the name, you don't have to send me anything else, just their name, we'll make sure they go in there. Damon, thanks for being part of it. Don't jump into the river of what ifs, baby. Get your tail across that bridge and walk it one step at a time. I will crawl across the bridge if that's what it makes for us. That's it. I'm out of here. This has been Walking in My Shoes. We are loving my veteran. I'm Stacy. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you in a few minutes at coffee time. Bye.